if you ever find yourself in a team where you have data analysts that understand the metric, the usages of the app or the website or whatever it is, you need to be asking them questions. That's something I realized that they were doing. Every day, they will go to the data guys, they will sit down with them, and then they'll be asking, that test that we did, how many percentage has it grown so far? Is it dropping? Is it improving? So the way they are thinking is just beyond just the UI stuff. Now they are thinking about it in the sense of the experience. How are actual users engaging with this thing? And do we need to, at any point, improve or go back and redesign something? You understand? Or maybe just leave it the way it is, or prioritize something else over something else. So yeah, that was like a very good, I guess, session for me. But then Thursday, like quick, Wednesday, like throughout Wednesday, that was what I was thinking about. It was in my head. I slept, I was dreaming about it in the sense of more, how can I better myself? And then I think Wednesday I woke up like 5 a.m. and I was just studying something online. I just started checking stuff on YouTube, and I was checking stuff on ChatGPT. I was asking ChatGPT. Again, that was why I always say AI is your best friend. How can I approach my designs by creating better hypotheses for why I'm doing something? And then he gave me like some template thing. So I just took that and I said, okay, since everything I do, I always put it on GPT. So this is that new app. I was generating all those icon, this thing that are in this app. I generated them with ChatGPT. So and this is everything I've done in this company ever since I joined. I have put everything on my ChatGPT. So he knows everything I do, week in, week out, day in, day out, and all of that stuff. And then I think I said should mention hypothesis. And then I started writing things. It kind of like a different way. What's the benefits? Higher conversions. It will reduce churn. So Thursday when I had that meeting with them, they were like, oh, nice. Then we started talking like 2 years ago. I was like, okay, I think myself, I'm getting smarter just from interacting with smarter people. And I think I just love that fact that I had the opportunity to be able to encounter that as well. And that's just something I just want you guys to just learn from, in the sense that no matter where you are, there's nothing that nobody else knows that you cannot learn. There's nothing. There's not that thing. Even all this coding stuff, you can learn it yourself as well. The thing is just that the time it takes to learn it. Me, I'm lucky that it's just everything is just within UI UX. The only thing is just the thinking model. How do I think and how do I present the ideas? It's not that I'm not doing a great job as a designer. It's that I am not communicating the benefits or the reason why we are designing the stuff. Don't just go and just present the design. You have to tell these were the things that were happening, and then we designed this. And from designing this thing, if the engineers implement it properly, we hope it's going to increase maybe number of people that buy something by 5% or 2% or 1%. And that is it. So it's just a thinking model thing. Always try to surround yourself with smart people. You should not be the smartest person in any room. You need to always be around smarter people. Nobody can do it alone. You have to surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you are not doing. And by that, you are learning bits and pieces of their own habits. What makes them formidable? There was this guy, again, we're in the same field, but every time I'm just like, this guy is just on a different level. But we joined the same week. But this guy is the go-to person for almost anything. But again, he's a developer. So again, we are not in the same field. But they're always calling his name like almost everything. And I'm like, there are a lot of people on that team already. And this one guy came in, and then he became the go-to guy where they are assigning the big stuff to. Even though on my own team, in the product design team as well, I get assigned all of the big stuff, like research, like designing, like adding animations and big stuff. But I'm like, that's on his own level is a whole different level, because I'm seeing him talk to like the CEO, one-on-one meetings, just in one corner, quick. And I'm like, wow, that's very impressive. So I feel like at the end of the day, I'm not saying bow into company norms. I'm not saying that you guys have to bow into company norms and be a kissers. The point is not to be somebody who's kissing everybody's ass. Little bits of improvement every day. Anyhow you can improve yourself. And I always advise, just anything you can think of. If you are curious about something and you don't understand something, always come to GPT, ask it about it. It will explain it to you. Tell it, explain it to me like I am a 5-year-old. My cousin was telling me something about his baby's AS and this one. I came in, I was like, what are the available methods for people? And then he started breaking it down for me. And I copied it and sent it to my cousin. So these are the options that you guys might have. You can learn anything online. Always do lead. Don't be that person that at least has a little bit of knowledge about anything. Don't be in a room where people are talking and then you don't have anything to contribute. You should at least be able to just say, oh, yeah, I read that somewhere. Oh, I heard this. Oh, I saw this. Oh, I have this idea about this thing. You understand? Do little bits of improvement. Nobody's requiring you to read 500 books in 1 month. All that one is just over sabi. All those people that will be telling you that their aim is to read 2 books every month. Now why they read 2 books every month? If you have work on your hands, you don't be reading 2 books every month. So, but the aim is little bits of improvement every day. Small improvement. It goes a long way. If you improve just a little bit today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, trust me, by December, the knowledge that you have amassed just from those small, like tiny drops of water in a bucket, over a long period of time will become a full bucket of water. So think of it that way, little bits of improvement. Learn to stay positive. So at this point, nobody's coming out to get you. It's either you don't have access to the right network. Not having access to a network can be a very big downfall. And when I say network, I just mean people that learn to introduce yourself to people, learn to meet new people, learn to ask questions, learn to find an approachable mentor. The second thing is to also learn to filter out the noise. Things that don't have anything to do with your life. And I cannot say this much enough. Things that don't have anything to do with your life, filter it out. Some of us are too distracted by social media. One celebrity is doing this one kidnapped somebody. These are things that don't have anything to do with your life. These are some of the things that don't have anything to do with you. And again, I understand that people love sports. Sports is a beautiful thing. I personally, I don't watch sports. I just was never really interested in at least football as a sport anyway. But again, all I'm just saying is you need to surround yourself with things that is within your niche. Everything you would either see on my YouTube or my Instagram would either be things, because again, I'm working on my own startup related stuff, finance related stuff, investment related stuff, UI UX related stuff, design related stuff. Yes, I watch movies to cool down. So yes, definitely I'll see a lot of movies and cartoons. And then AI. AI is everywhere. I have playlists dedicated to AI content, AI softwares that I would like to go back and explore. Even though sometimes you spend hours on Instagram and there will be a lot of interesting content in there. Within an hour, you can consume over 200 videos just by flipping. There's something called a bookmark. You can just create groups of bookmarks and just save things so that one day, when you really have time to explore stuff, you just go back to those bookmarks and then you explore the softwares that people were actually talking about. I have bookmarks here too, all these different bookmarks. Some of them are very good, and then I save them. I found this one that allows you to market on WhatsApp. Allows you to market and increase your revenue by using a WhatsApp suite. It was just today. He was talking about, I think, around yesterday night was when I was seeing it on Instagram, and it was so interesting. And they were like, I think there were 2 of them. Byte Speed was the second one. And it seems this one is even more interesting. You can do like product reviews. You can get people to rate the visuals of your product or something like that. I was like, this is very, very interesting. I would like to explore them. And I saved them. So learn to also save things for later so that you can explore them as well. Sitting down and chatting and gossiping about somebody else. Yes, it's fun. Obviously, if you have like a husband or a wife, it's always nice to have those moments where you guys are gossiping about one wicked auntie or something. It's fine, but on the side, the things that will really make you money is not in those conversations. You need to go out of your way. And that takes me to where one of the first places I want to show you guys is called ADP List. You can reach out to any mentor anywhere in the world. These are all professionals in the field. Right? I've been doing this ADP list thing for like 3 years now. I've mentored people from all over. I've spoken to different kinds of people and just giving them advice on maybe what I can do to get better. It's usually a 1 hour call. You will show them what you've done. They will advise you on what you can do to get better. So let me log into my account just to show you guys. ADP list. You can talk to people like product designers in the US, product designers in the UK, in Germany, any country that you feel like maybe you're interested in going to. Have these conversations with them. And then, so see, me, I've already mentored over 7,000 minutes. And basically, if everybody on this call was to, I would have done maybe over 20,000 minutes. But anyway, so here I can actually browse people in UI UX design. And then I'll see different people all over the world. See, there's somebody in the US. This guy is a big designer in Nigeria. He's head of product at Eze Wholesale. I've never heard of them before. You can book this person to have a meeting free. You're not paying anything. They're not collecting money from you or anything. They are making their advice available for you for free. See somebody in Canada here. These people have done like a lot of experience, 8 years, 19 years of experience. This person has 19 years of experience. Have different people filtered down by different countries and wherever, and you can have conversations with them. So ADP list is going to be the first place I would suggest you guys check out. So let me put that on the WhatsApp group. That's, ADP list is going to be one of these first places. I would like you guys to network. Go outside that your shell. Forget whatever it is that you're doing. Go outside of that your mini shell and then start exploring ways to talk to more people. Now, I was on Eventbrite today, and Eventbrite is like a place where you can get tickets to different events. Again, this is like in London here. You can always find things and say, okay, I'm looking for, let me see, maybe business events. I could filter down going to business events. And then, again, not everybody goes out. I don't go out personally. But again, I'm trying to force myself to start going out. Once these classes end, I think from next month, the first weekend, I want to make sure I go out. Next week, I want to start making sure I start going to the gym as well. You understand? Little things like that. The small things I can do to at least make myself a little bit more social. So yeah. So see, power up your brand. London, this is free ticket. You just go there, enjoy yourself. You can buy drinks and whatever, and you are in it. These ones are like £50 for tickets. But you see, a lot of free events exist to the same one. This is also another free one again. Embrace wellness, financial freedom, admissions, onboarding, school stuff. Now, I feel like in Nigeria as well, there will also be the Lagos, because I know there's Eventbrite in Lagos as well. So you can find events around you. There are networking social events. Let me see. I'll just search for career. Let's just search for career first. This one is business ownership right for you? All this one, like most of these ones are just anyway. So some of them, I'll look at them very carefully before I say that is the one I want to explore. You understand? But you have to network. You just have to find ways to meet more people. Then one of the important places for you to really show yourself is your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is definitely your biggest ally. Your LinkedIn is definitely your biggest ally. You understand? This is where everything, this can change your life. See, job. This is what I do. I don't go to LinkedIn jobs to start applying for jobs. This is not where you come to apply for jobs. So this one, they have 61 applicants. If I had 62 already, like 61 people see it on date, and when they go even reach my own, see this one, over 100 people already applied. Why am I bothering to apply? This is not the best way. And there's a lot of hacks that I've discovered, really, that some of the things that you need to start getting your head around when it comes to maybe getting jobs. See, there are people that you will find that you should be following And all I just do is I come here, I just search for hiring, maybe product designer. Instead of, I'll just go to posts. Anybody I see on this post, I will follow them. This one, fantastic designer. I had working in it. I'll follow all of these people. It doesn't cost me anything. I don't care whether I'm following more people than more people are following me. My own aim is to get a job and then to start making my own money. Excited to say we are hiring only 19 people like this. That means of the 19 people that like this, maybe only 2 people have applied. Because even here, you can see that only 2 people commented. This is a very good chance to get this job. So me, I'll follow this guy. You understand? Anybody else, we are hiring a founding product designer. This is a startup. A startup is looking for somebody. So their requirement to hire somebody is not going to be too high. You understand? How many people have like only 8 people? Maybe nobody has ever applied yet. I'll follow this person too. And I'll check and I can send them a DM to actually apply for the jobs. So people should not say the job market is saturated. I don't want to be hearing that thing. Again, I've heard it so many times and I know people that are getting jobs. I know somebody who has about 5 jobs in UI UX right now. I know somebody personally. The guy has 5 jobs in UI UX. At the end of the year, his net salary is around 500 and something $1,000. One person, Nigerian, very smart guy. All he just does is he gets all these different jobs, and then guess what he does? You get somebody to work each one, but he'll be the one attending the meetings to present the jobs. That's all he's doing. When I was in Nigeria, I was actually working for the guy too before I traveled, because that was one of the biggest lifesavers for me. That helped me to even easily just pay for my flight ticket and not even worry about anything. Because almost every month I was getting around, wasn't like 1.5 from that guy. Even though my salary then was not paying, was not doing anything. But that 1.5 every month in Nigerian naira was a lot of money. So I was balling easy. You understand? So you can also adopt models. People are thinking outside of the box. So don't say there are no jobs when there are people that have 5 jobs. One person, 5 jobs. You understand? Me now, one person, I have one main job and then 3 other contract jobs. There are contract roles out there. So LinkedIn is a very good place. But for LinkedIn to optimize, you need to optimize your LinkedIn properly. Your LinkedIn needs to be optimized. So you don't have a portfolio yet. Yes, we'll talk about that maybe next week. But here, everything you've done, you need to use GPT to write something nice, dedicated and result-driven product design, this thing, over 6 years experience. Simple. This is about me, the end. Nobody wants to know whether I have a car or I have a dog or I grew up in Molete Grammar School or something. Nah. Simple professional summary. That is what LinkedIn is for. Then what are my services? I train people, I do business consulting, interaction design, UX research, this one, that one. This is what my profile will be known for. And any jobs I've done, I put my Instagram here, my website is here. They pay for me app I did, these other apps that we did back in those years, and then some other things as well. Then you would see I always post jobs, I always repost. This is all I do these days. I'm always just reposting roles that are open. But for you to even qualify for these jobs, you have to show something in your portfolio. Then see work experience. Every single work experience I have, and then 30 other experiences. I do a lot of stuff, so I like to put them here. Everything I do, I'll put them here. They will always be here. Everything I do will always be here. Even my NYC, further maths teacher, I was teaching further maths in Ibadan then. I put it there. Yeah. So, yeah, you need to, everything about you, put them there. Education, I studied here. This was where I learned my product design. And I graduated, I think, January of 2019. And then before then, I already even got a job. December before that. My university. Nobody needs to know your secondary school. Just the 3 main highest education you had. Uni, maybe masters, and then any professional training, put them in there. And then certification. This is the UXL I was talking about that I'll be giving 5 people. I have over 50 certifications, basically. These are certificates in specific, very specific things. cross-functional design and product teams, information architecture, gamification. You understand? Okay, this is a certificate that was given to me in ADP because I did 100 sessions with people. 3D design foundation, AI in UI UX design. There are certificates, specific certifications. And you can see the certification here. If I open it, you'll be able to see the certificate that was granted. Now, with that UXL, you have access to all of this. This is UXL. This is the UXL I was saying. This is it. And certifications. And these are all the certificates I've already gotten. So, see, they even have some events. You can always join these events. They are very nice events. You will learn something. Use the UXL graph to turn your design job into a dream role. You understand? Because there's something called a map that you would have, a skills graph. I think I should be able to see that on my profile, I think. There's a skills graph that would always show up on your profile. I've forgotten how to get to that skills graph. But anybody who sees your profile from a perspective of just somebody viewing would actually see that graph. That graph is like hey, this is it. Yeah, this is it. So this ID means interaction design. This one means visual design. So it means I'm more of a visual designer because anywhere this line leans towards means you are more perfect in those particular regards. You understand? And let me just go in just to show you the skill graph, interaction design. So product thinking, all of these are my strongest suits. Design leadership, I'm not as strong as I am. So the more you take those certifications, the more you now start content strategy. Actually, lately, I realized that content strategy, I suck at content strategy, and now I'm beginning to become better at it. So all the different things you'll be doing here, all these courses you'll be doing, they'll be giving you certifications on each of these courses. And you are learning things. There are examinations on each one. So if I go in here now, and then I've already done this, I've already passed this. So if I go in, you first read the theory. You will read all of this theory, there are graphs, what is an opportunity solution tree. These are things that you will learn. You will learn all of these things. What does this mean? What does it not mean? And then at the end, you're required to take a quiz. If you fail the quiz, you have to pass this one before you go to the next one. So you will retry and retry. And the more you retry and fail, the more your skill graph is dropping. So say, what's the best method for retrieving genuine opportunities? Brainstorming opportunities or conducting story-based interviews? Obviously, this one, right answer, and then move to the next, and then etc, etc, etc. So UXL, I'll be giving 5 people to get access to this. You have access to all the certificates that they have to offer here. You have access to all of it. So also save this UXL. Even if you don't even win it, I will implore you to still go in and then get your own subscription. And I think it's cheaper in Naira. So probably what I'll just do is send the money to each person so that they just do the subscription themselves. Maybe that's kind of like the best way to do it. Because if I had to do it from here, it's going to be way too expensive. So yeah. And that's probably just another angle to look at it from as well. You understand? Now, let's now talk about your portfolio. And I will go into my Google Docs. I have a case study template that I use, but then I will send a list of videos that I want you guys to look at as well. So let me open my YouTube. See, AI replace designers. Will you be one of them? There's always some fear. You understand? There's always some fear. And see, movies. You always see movie stuff all over my own timeline. These are the things that I do to relax, but you always see real estate stuff, people making money somehow. I want to learn everything because I'm looking for ideas on how to make money. Because my own aim is, and again, it's very, very important to set small goals and have an accountability partner. If you have a spouse, if you have your husband, maybe a girlfriend or a wife or whatever it is, I would advise make them your accountability partner. Meaning, you have a goal, you set a goal to say, oh, by this, I want to have achieved this. And don't set crazy goals. Set small goals that you can reach. And have somebody know that I'm trying to reach this goal. I want you to be stressing me until I get to that goal. You understand? That's what they call an accountability partner. So me, my own personal dream is by the end of the year, I want to be able to say, oh, I saved 50,000 pounds in my account. That is my own goal by December. It's crazy money. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but I'm really exploring a lot of options. A friend of mine was like, there's this investment, this thing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, no wala. Me, I like to take risk. I gamble a lot, but not that gamble. I just gave 200 pounds. Let me see what happens in 1 month. I know at least I tried something with 200 pounds. If the money doesn't come back, no wala. Like, at least that guy, he will never be able to talk to me again, and I've gotten rid of him. The money has gone, and I would never make another bad investment, at least from that angle. That's the way I look at risks personally. At least you learned something, and the money you lost from gambling on something is pretty much the school fees that it took you to learn. So yeah, but basically, so here now, all I'll just search for here will just be, I will say, see, Figma boss. These are the things that I'm always looking for. I'm always just searching these things. So let me just say, yeah, I'll say UI designer coach. I'll just say case study. Let's just call it case study. Case study is the best way to find what you want. Maddie Beard, this lady's video started changing my perspective on how I approach my case studies. This girl, I love. And the funny thing was, when I found her, she had just started designing, but the things she knew about case studies, and she was working for one of the biggest companies in the world too. So I was like, definitely, you follow person way no road. Don't be about person way old for the game or anything. And she creates content about this stuff. So this lady too, Sean Bond, and also Rachel Howe. These are great people. I'll send you links to their channels, but then I'll send you links to specific videos on how you should structure your case study. So let me show you an example of the case study outline that I have for my students' case study outline. I'll give you guys access to this. You guys will be able to see this as well. So copy link, let's paste. So this is the case study outline. You start with the title of the project. What was your role in the project? Were you the UI designer? Timeline. How long did it take you to complete the project? And then problem statement. Problem statement now means, what is the problem you were trying to solve? So let me show you an example with mine. That's Timmy at b.com, I think. So let's go down and let's just look at this. Title: Transforming Cross-Border Payments for International Students. Duration: it was a continuous project. Status: it's live, because Pay for Me is already live. And then what platforms was it on? And you can even visit the website if you want to. And then I had like this nice image, Pay for Me. Now, the overview is pretty much, you see, as the head of this, I have been pivotal in shaping, and I just explained a little bit of background into what this company means and who I am at this company. So head of product design, understand, shaping experiences for the platform that simplifies cross-border payments for African students pursuing education abroad. Simple. This case study highlights the journey of Performance product evolution, focusing on methodologies used, key design decisions, and impactful outcomes. These are the three main things. What are some of the ideas we had, and what are the decisions that we took finally that made us design what we designed? And then what was the result of that design? Very, very important stuff. You understand? So it's structured differently here, but it's pretty much the same spirit. Because me, I like to add like twists and turns to my own things. So problem statements, you always have like at least the background of the problem you are trying to solve. The background is like, it's mixed with the problem statements in a way, but it's talking about maybe the hypothesis is that we would build an app that would solve cross-border payments and reduce the time it takes for people to send money from Nigeria to the US to just a few hours, rather than applying for a Form A that takes you 4 weeks to get your money to the other country. Simple. That's kind of like a very simple hypothesis. Now, why are we solving that problem? It's a very important thing. And then what were the business opportunities that were identified? Now, you don't always have to put everything. Whatever you have is what you are going to put in. But you guys already know what to do. Any of these things, just copy this. Tell ChatGPT the project you're working on. Tell GPT to write a copy for all of these things. Now, some things in here, GPT cannot write because it cannot create any scanner attachment. This just means like maybe things you drew on a piece of paper and you scanned. So that's just what we call scanner attachment. You understand? But if you did any research, then survey results. But you guys did not do any research. Therefore, in your own case study, this research will not be there. You understand? But for the app you are building, there's a business opportunity somewhere. There's a reason why that app needed to be built. And there's an hypothesis of what that app is supposed to solve in the society at large. And then, once we are getting to this point of research, you guys will just skip the research because you did not do any research really. What you did was UI design. Then, insights. What are the main insights? So now you can say research, but your research was not particularly survey. You can say your research was actually contextual inquiry. So we can say, I'll just say desk. Let me just add something. Desk studies. So when I say contextual research, it just means, let's say I was building a product for, okay, let me use an example. You guys remember this icon thing that we're doing? I think it was this class now. So I'll just say, I'll just say maybe, because somebody give me an example of like one of your projects so that I can just use to form like a context. Anybody?
Dating app.
Okay. Okay, so I am working on a dating app. UI design. And then the question will just be, I would like to know what insights I should be aware of in how dating apps are used and the market opportunities, and also some existing pain points of dating app users in, let's just say, Nigeria. So I would like to just always put like a area. Also, if you have any interesting metric data, you could also pull that up. Now, let me press enter and then you see something. So it's going to generate something for me because it will search the web, it will scrub the web and give me some information. But with the paid version of ChatGPT, there's something called deep research. See, it's showing me different types of dating apps in Nigeria, pulled up their images. Nigerian dating app landscape, market demands, top dating apps in Nigeria, Tinder, Bumble, True Flutter, Badoo, Tantan. And then user pain points and challenges, trust and safety concerns, privacy issues, ghosts. Literally, this is your research. But if I want to go deeper, I like to go deeper, and that's why I paid for GPT. I'll copy this and let me just start a new chat GPT. And I'll just come here, I'll paste. But it's temporary. Oh, it's not available. So deep research is not available. I think probably they are doing some updates, but yeah. Let me see. Yeah, 4.0 is where I am. So I guess I think they're probably working on some updates on that. But pretty much this is my research. And I'll just say, now let's identify two key extreme personas, and let's highlight key pain points and opportunities to solve those problems. So you can do your research, desk studies, because when you are learning, you don't have a lot of sources of information except the internet. Now, instead of having to go to Google, search, then be going to different articles, you can easily use ChatGPT to scrub the entire internet and then give you a quick summary of everything you need to know. So see, persona one, Ada the first time seeker, age 23, location Enugu. This one, answer single, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Android phone. Goals to meet a meaningful, emotionally supportive partner, but without public embarrassment or stigma. It's a very interesting thing. It's it's very interesting to me. Pinpoint, fear of being scammed or exposed publicly, cultural shame for using very, very accurate stuff. I don't know if you guys are seeing this thing the same way I'm seeing it, but this is actually very amazing stuff. It feels like real insights because they are real insights. This ChatGPT is scrubbing the internet for information. Nigerians, we get cultural shame. Certain things, in Nigeria, woman know they go toast man, obviously. We don't do that, because in Africa it's frowned upon. But over here, person visit you for boss, come meet you, say, "Ah, fine guy," and it's very weird as well to any Africans here anyway. So see, Tunde the I skeptic, 36, lives in Ikoyi. Obviously, Ikoyi na I already knows where the right high earning spots are. You understand? The fintech executive is divorced. So there are two main perspectives, and you have two good personas now. All you just have to just do is have all of this information first. And this is like the layout of what you have to do. These are the insights. So then I can just say, okay, now insights, I'll just say, okay, then I'll go back to GPT. I'll just say, oh, let me close this. Voila. They don't update terms and policy. I don't want to get notifications, please. Enable, see, they even have an AI note taker now. So meaning if I enable it, if anybody has a session with me, one-on-one, it will be taking notes, and then I don't have to remember what was said or not. I can just go back and check those notes. Nice stuff. Anyway, so I'll go back to the ChatGPT now, and I'll just say, okay, now that I'm trying to gather main learnings, let's say now summarize and highlight the main learnings from the dating app information of the end. To just summarize everything for me. And then I have a document. I'll just be compiling the key things I need. Market insights and behavior. Nigerian ranks number one globally in online dating app search interest. Women 18 to 40 in Southeast Nigeria show 66.4% active usage. Top platforms include these guys. You understand? Key user pinpoint, trust and safety, cultural stigma, privacy concerns, superficial interaction. Opportunities to differentiate. It is telling you the end. And you just create a Google Docs where you'll be compiling all the information that you're going to design. You understand? And let me show you an example of that. You need to, and again, probably maybe I'll provide one of my case studies for you guys. Case study. I always create my case study into like documents. You understand? So this is one smart charts. Is a case study for pay for me design system. I wanted to create a case study specifically for pay for me design system, apart from the app itself, because design system is very, very high in demand as well. Like the industry, they have jobs. You people should stop saying that there are no jobs, or stop listening to those people that are saying those things. This is another app I did. Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority one I did. There are a lot of them. They're not even on my website yet. These are a lot of projects. The overview, the evaluation we did when we started this particular project. These guys they're in the US. I was working for them on contracts. The money wasn't good, but at least I used it to like get like some foreign work experience. But yeah, see, heuristic evaluation. So these are the things that we did on the project itself. And all of those things, GPT was able to just help me rewrite them. I gave it all the information I could, all the diagrams I could give it, and then it wrote things. And I just started taking them piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. And I compiled an entire document for this. This one is even just a design system one. It's not even about the pay for me app, but about the design system that we had. Because when we're doing stuff, I was very inconsistent. So what were the things that I was trying to improve? You understand? I was just telling GPT, give me some emojis just so that I can add a little bit of shine to the entire thing. And then it gave me this document, like just gave me small, I'm just taking them, combining them together into a document. So for your case study, what I expect you guys to do, to be able to write a full-fledged case study based on this outline that I've provided to you guys. And I'll give you guys access to these interactives. Let me give you this one. Area Express. So this is a logistics one. So I'll give you guys this. This is like a summary of the entire thing. So let me share this so that you guys can go through it. First, you always have to compile a document before you then turn it into like a design. You understand? So let's go back to WhatsApp and let me paste this. So yeah, so this very clear type this thing. So you first have to write a document compiled, and you have to read that and understand that document very well before you go to an interview and then embarrass yourself and you don't know what is inside your this thing. So let me come back here and then check for the pay for me case study. Pay for me. What's there? Let me check. Let me go all the way down. Probably I made it in my pay for me email, and I don't have access to that email anymore since I already quit. So, well, okay, yeah, this is it now. So why was it not coming up in search? So see, this is the case study. Exactly the same thing. At the end of this, I've been pivotal. But the images is now up to you to now do all your these things. This image, I created it in Canva. And Canva, you can use Canva for free and just get some video templates and just load your UI inside of it to add motion to your design. Discovery and research. Let me go back here and then show you guys the whole thing. Discovery and research. 2021. Objective. So I understand that the unique challenges. So always assemble what you want to do first. And then I told GPT, what are the relevant images that I should show in each section? Because after I compiled and I copied everything, I gave GPT again. For each of them, what should be the relevant images that I should show? Oh, user journey map would be nice. Persona diagram would be nice. This one, that one. You understand? And then I went into Figma and created all of the diagrams myself. But again, I had a lot of them. So I was just able to just repurpose all of those old diagrams and use them again. Very, very simple. Very simple type stuff. And then before you do it, you have an entire case study, having like mind maps in there, sketches, all this mock-up stuff. It's just to add life, but the story behind it is the real thing that a recruiter would want to see. You understand? The story and then how good the UI is. Is it a very clean UI? You understand? See flows, user flows. And then all of these other parts of the design system. These are all the different elements, the button sets, all of that. You guys don't even have to have all of these things, but at least you should be able to have a story behind your design. This one, I created this in Canva. I can go to Canva now and show you guys. It was a template. I just loaded my image there. I removed the background, and that was the end. That was it. So let me just open that up. So you can add different elements here and there to bring life to your distance. So see, this is it. There was a template I found. And then all I just did was, so once you play it, see, all of those things will happen. You can get the same template, just be changing all the images. You understand? Then all of the things, you put your own picture there, do this, all the elements. I don't have to do much work. I not create it myself or just a template that I used. So anything you see online, don't go and be thinking it's something crazy that there are tools out there that offer a lot of free templates. Come here and just say, this is even the AI this thing. I'll go to maybe templates. See templates. See this template. This is a template that is free. Okay, no, these are templates for your vlog, whoever it is, personal branding. You can take this, you tailor them to wherever you want. You can change all the text in this stuff. This guy makes BBC and Vox quality videos using Canva. And Canva for an entire year is probably 40K or 50K or something like that. So anything you want to do, you can just go from one place. And when you are exporting, just export as maybe a GIF. So this one was exported as a GIF. And then I add it here. And this job I have now, I did these changes the day before the final interview. I added this to it the day before the final interview. And then I added, what was the other thing I added again? I had all these ones right from time. No, this one was there, but these ones. I had to show the app in its big essence so that they can see it very well when I was presenting in the interview. Then I showed the Figma arrangement just to show that I know how to arrange my Figma into sections. And then the prototype, how things are linked together. Simple. And those are the changes I really made. And again, I would like to believe that maybe those changes helped a little bit, but at least. And then I showed the highlights. Obviously, you guys don't really have any impact yet, but it's fine to stop at the end of the design and just say the roadmap of the project, some ongoing user research that you're still conducting, and then key metrics that you would like to track once the project goes live. The end, this one is just things that the company did, featured on Times Square and all of that stuff, which is fine, but yeah, pretty much. This is what a portfolio really is. So you go to the interview and then you will present something. You have to share your screen and you will talk about it. This is what you are going to talk about. This is what you guys are going to be talking about. But there's something about doing interviews that I want you guys to also know as well, right? There's something about doing interviews that I want you guys to know. And it's pretty much something called, I'm not sure, have I mentioned the STAR method before to you guys? STAR, STAR, STAR method. Have you guys heard me say that before?
Hello.
No.
Now, STAR method means every single thing in your interview, you would always use STAR method to answer. And STAR is, all STAR just means is, let me just write it out, STAR. S means situation. Any question they ask you will always be based on the STAR method. S is situation. T is task. A is action. R is result. So the question they will ask you, and there are some, don't worry, I'll copy the question prep that I usually do for interviews. I'll copy them and then I'll put them in a document and I'll send to you guys. It's my other laptop. S situation means they'll ask you a question. Oh, have you ever faced a time when you worked with a manager that maybe didn't like the design that you did? You have to start with a story. Tell it like a story. Oh, yes. So that's a very good question. I remember a particular period when we were redesigning the home page. I remember the time we were redesigning an home page because remember, there should be a reason why you are doing something. So we were designing the home page because we realized that new users were beginning to drop off. They were not understanding exactly what our product was supposed to do for them. So the aim was to find ways to improve. So the aim was to find ways to improve the information architecture, use better imagery, and then find interesting layouts to communicate with the users. I've already spoken about situation because remember, as I just said, situation was that we're designing the home page because new users did not understand what our product was offering them. And then the task was that I'll be using information architecture and imagery and interesting layouts to achieve that. Then the action was, I'll be like, oh, then I had to conduct an heuristic audit and also reach out to the business intelligence team to find out about what the metrics currently are and what are some of the conversion rates of that particular page. Remember, I mentioned all these things to you guys in a particular class where we spoke about metrics. So you guys should not forget those important metrics. That you should be, there are some things that you should be looking to increase. There are some things that you should be looking to reduce. So you should be able to insert it into your story when you are answering a question. So yeah, the action was I had to do like ask them. And after I asked them, then the next thing was to run a few wireframes. So the wireframes allowed me to do some rapid prototypes, and then we add two versions of the new home page that we wanted to test. One was the control version, and the way I'm answering them, I want you guys to just follow me. But if I say anything you don't understand, I want you guys to ask me questions, please. Don't let me escape without you asking questions. So just listen to the answer I'm going with. So I reached out to the business intelligence team to get the conversion rates currently of the home page, the number of drop-offs we're getting on the home page, and what it would take for us to recover from the last few months of drop-offs that we have suffered from that home page. Then the next thing I now did was I had to design wireframes, which helped me to come up with two versions of the home page. We had an A and B version, which we then sent for A/B testing. When we did the A/B testing, then we realized that version B converted more with users, and that was how we were able to finalize to stay with that page. And now the page currently is converting at least 40, let's just say maybe it's converting at least 45% of our users compared to the 20% it was doing before, which showed that we had made significant progress in the redesign. Basically, I'm mentioning metrics. You have to mention metrics. Then the task was that I had to find or use interesting layouts, interesting imagery, and better information architecture to make it better. Then my action was I first went to the data analyst to ask about how the performance is actually and what we need to achieve. Then the next thing, under that same action, I did wireframes. Under that same action, I designed two versions, A, B, version A, version B. Then under that same action, I did a test with users. Then the result was that of the A/B test, version B was better. Therefore, we went with version B for the live version of the app. And now the result is showing that people are converting at 45% more than the 20% it was doing before. The end. That is how you should always answer questions. Remember, the answer I even gave was an interesting answer because it will make the person who will forget what the question was, but at least try to stick to the question, really. A manager didn't like your design. How did you resolve it? The answer I gave does not have anything to do with manager. It's a good answer, but it did not have anything. So you always have to make sure you are answering what they are asking you. So my own would just typically be like, oh, yeah, we had to redesign that home page. Then we had version A and B. And the manager didn't like version A and B. So now where I'll just do is just this area. That's where I'll slide it in. But the manager didn't like the two versions because they had an idea of what they wanted because they were comparing it to some other competitor websites. So I created a new version C. That's the action. You understand? So I said, well, I created a version C. Then we tested. So we allowed data to tell us which one was better. And unfortunately for the manager, version B was better than the version C that the manager wanted. So therefore, all I just did was I mixed a little bit of elements of, because now you also have to show ingenuity of being able to play office politics. So things did not go your manager's way. Therefore, how were you able to take your manager's point of view and then make it better? So I infused some elements from version C into version B, and then we tested again, and it actually performed better. So therefore, When we launched, he did maybe 45% more. And then that's the answer. So always know how to manipulate this thing. Just slide it into maybe task or action. It can be that the situation was that maybe a new manager joined the team and didn't like maybe the overall design and wanted some big changes. Then you can just start explaining the story from there. Oh, that was the situation. Then the task I had to do was to interview the manager first and discuss about some of the reasons why they wanted those changes, understand the types of design that they like. You understand? Then action. Next thing I had to do, then I start doing wireframes. Then I start doing this. Then the results. But after I redesigned it, the manager was at least happier, but our metrics were not doing so great because the changes were too drastic. They're just telling a story. So in your head, you should have a very imaginative mind, be able to tell the story and then make it feel real. Because all of these things I'm saying, you guys will feel like, oh, these things really happen. I had to make them up for my head because for my team, I didn't have any manager. I was the manager. I was the designer. You understand? Always, any question, star, star, star. Always use the star method. Now, on the other side of this, there's always something that you should always prepare called an elevator pitch. This elevator pitch is something you should craft and memorize. Elevator pitch is how you introduce yourself. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Always have two versions of the elevator pitch. You should always have the formal version and an informal version. Okay. So most times in an interview, somebody will call, the person will join the interview and then they will tell you, oh, I am this, I am that. If the person introduces themselves in a formal way, then you also follow the formal method that you have crafted. If the person introduces themselves in like an informal, so informal means they say, oh, I have 3 cats, 4 dogs, I like to play golf on the weekends. Then you have your own informal version as well. You understand? So that so you follow energy for energy. That is what you should always do in any interviews. Now you go to follow up. You understand? So always have your formal one, informal one. ChatGPT will create a very good one for you. Tailor it. Always tell GPT prompt to make it better or to add some of your hobbies. Maybe you like watching football on the weekends. You like to hang with friends or family. Maybe you have kids. You could talk about that. Simple. Or maybe you just move to like a new city. Somebody was saying she moved to like a new city. So that as well can also be part of your elevator pitch. Simple. You get. So elevator pitch is one of the things that I should always have as well. I'll show you guys the ones I have, and yeah, you guys will be able to see even the questions I've, because I used GPT to create questions, and then I did star method answers for all of those questions. I made sure I practice. That's why they say you practice interviews. Interviewer will not ask you, do you know how to use Figma? Do you know how to use? No, nobody will ask you all that question. Nobody cares about all of that shit. What they really want to know is, have you been in situations? Have you done things? What have you done? How did you handle this? How did you handle that? You understand? What is your standard process? And that is why the star method will allow you to highlight the process you have used in the past. You understand? That's just the beauty of it, really. And yes, that's everything. I don't have anything else to really say about this for now.